and welcome to Crypt of Life Tales. Today we are talking about the case of Kristine Kupka. Women are more likely than men to be murdered by an intimate partner. Of those killed by an intimate partner, about 3/4 are female and about a quarter are male. In 1999, in the United States, 1,218 women and 424 men were killed by an intimate partner. The suspect, Rudy Persaud, Kristine's boyfriend at the time, or on or off again boyfriend, the father of her child, was Indo-Caribbean Guyanese. He was an Indo-Caribbean Guyanese immigrant. And there in New York, the Indo-Guyanese immigrant community treasures or they value music, food, and religion. Rudy and his family was one of more than 200,000 Hindu families who had moved to America from Guyana, or immigrated to America from Guyana. And especially there was a large presence in Queens of Guyanese immigrants, especially in the Richmond Hill area. And there in Queens, there's about 20 Hindu temples. So to many Guyanese immigrants, religion is a central fact of life. Guyanese Hindu families are rooted deep in dress and behavior. And with Rudy, that was prevalent because of his father's status as a Guyanese Hindu priest. Now, Rudy expressed to Kristine that having a child out of wedlock would bring shame upon his family once he learned of her pregnancy, which, in my opinion, he should have thought about that before having an affair, because as you will see in the story, Rudy was married at the time he was dating Kristine. So without further ado, this is the story of Kristine Kupka. Kristine was a passionate and opinionated person. She had a strong group of friends and she was accomplishing her goals. She had a major in philosophy and she was graduating in 2 months with a 3.97 average. She planned to go to law school and specialize in women's issues. She also had a job waitressing at a Caribbean restaurant named The Grill near Chelsea Piers in New York. Now, Kristine had rented 2 floors of a house for $2,200 a month, not far from her university. And she subletted the extra bedrooms to 5 people. Kristine had moved to New York from Madison, Wisconsin. She had attended the University of Wisconsin prior to moving to New York City, but dropped out and later re-enrolled at Baruch College in New York City. She had also lived in Atlanta, Georgia previously. So on the night of Kristine's disappearance, which was October 24th, 1998, Kristine was last seen leaving her home in the 200 block of Westminster Avenue in New York, in a New York City borough of Brooklyn. It was approximately around 12:30 p.m. One of her roommates said that her boyfriend, Darshanan Persaud, which his nickname is Rudy, and I hope I didn't do too much butchering of the name, but he arrived at Kristine's home shortly beforehand, and the roommate said that Rudy seemed nervous, and so once they left, because they were supposed to go and view a home, and Kristine had even called her sister Kathy before she left and left a voice message just telling her sister that her and Rudy was going to view a place to rent, and that she would talk to her later. Now, the relationship between Kristine and Rudy was a troubled relationship, to say the least. Rudy was her adjunct chemistry instructor at Baruch College, and they began dating shortly after she completed his class and continued a relationship for 5 months. Not sure if it was off and on again, but it was a relationship. So Kristine became pregnant unexpectedly, and she had told her friends that Rudy was not supportive of her pregnancy and had begged for her to have an abortion. Her loved ones said that they seemed frightened that he would hurt her or their child. And according to Kristine's sister Kathy, she said that Kristine was having some kind of feelings too, that she didn't quite trust Rudy or to be around Rudy too much while she was pregnant because of how weird he was acting. Well, come to find out, Rudy was married, and reportedly, he only told Kristine that he was married after he learned about her pregnancy. So he initially denied that he was her baby's father, claiming that he had a partial vasectomy, but eventually he lied. Well, according to Kristine's friends and family, Rudy had told Kristine that his family would disown him if she carried the baby to term because he was a Guyanese immigrant and that his father was a Hindu priest. So I think the main reason, more than likely, was because he was married. Whereas Kristine was looking forward to becoming a single mom. She had already came to the conclusion or knew that she was going to be a single mom, and she was looking forward to doing it, even though she knew it was going to be hard. She was doing the right thing. She was graduating from college and she was planning to go to law school. She wanted to become a civil rights attorney and focus on women's issues. So she was supporting herself by, again, working at the Jamaican restaurant, and she had some money in her savings account, approximately about $7,000, and she was due to graduate from Baruch in January of 1999. Rudy's wife Rochelle had got Kristine's number, probably through Rudy's phone, and had made a couple of calls to Kristine, wanting to know who she was and also if she was pregnant, where Kristine had told her that she was pregnant, but that her and Rudy had only had one sexual encounter that resulted in the pregnancy. So, and just said that she just wanted Rudy to be a part of the child's life, and that she wanted, the child to have a relationship between both parents. So, according to Kristine, Rudy's wife became angry at him after learning about Kristine's pregnant, and also learning that Kristine intended to give the baby Rudy's last name, Persaud, and that she had also planned to ask for financial support for the baby if need be. So, Rudy resurfaced back into Kristine's life shortly before her October disappearance. Kristine told friends that he appeared on her doorstep and claimed that his wife had thrown him out of the house and that he was staying with a cousin. No one knows for certain if Kristine believed the story, but she told her family that she encouraged him to reconcile with his wife, and that Rudy apparently became more supportive of the pregnancy at the time and had suggested names for the baby, offering to be the birthing coach, and that confused Kristine a lot because of the 360 change in attitude. So, the reason behind Rudy's visit to Kristine's house on October 24th, no one knows for certain, but it's assumed that they were going to view a new apartment, Kristine and Rudy, and that Rudy was driving her to a nearby shopping mall to do some shopping for the baby, I assume, afterwards. So Kristine's family and friends were alerted of Kristine's disappearance by one of the roommates, who became concerned that Kristine didn't return back that evening from her, leaving out with Rudy. And so Kristine's sister and a family friend located Rudy's home and confronted him about Kristine's whereabouts. Whereas Rudy's mother alerted Rudy that the police was called and that they would say that an altercation happened and that they would press charges. So Rudy told Kristine's sister and friend that he drove Kristine to the shopping center, waited in his car for her return from shopping, and claimed that he dropped Kristine off 2 blocks from her home between 3 and 4 p.m. Because she wanted to walk to a nearby health food store. When Kristine's family asked him which shopping mall he had taken her to, he said he didn't know, and he had stayed in the car while she shopped. Now that's a ridiculous alibi or story that he's giving, and that's what makes him seem so suspicious in this disappearance, because that doesn't make any sense at all. You're going to drop her off at a shopping mall and then say, oh, but you were waiting in the car and she wanted to walk the few blocks to her home. That doesn't even make sense. So anyway, Kristine's loved ones began to question people in the neighborhood, and a laundromat owner said that he thought he had seen Kristine walking past his business, and that the store owner of the health food store said that she might have seen Kristine at approximately 7 p.m. the day of her disappearance. But then later, the health food store owner said she was undecided. She may not have seen Kristine because the woman she saw may not have been Kristine, since the woman was wearing peach-colored pants and Kristine didn't own any peach-colored pants. Now, police have questioned Rudy just once shortly after Kristine's disappearance, and Rudy hired an attorney. Of course he would. And a few days later, didn't grant any more future interviews. And you hear this so much in regards to missing persons, and especially when a significant other or boyfriend is involved. I always find that that's suspicious when the significant other or boyfriend stop talking to police and start and don't want to have any kind of involvement in finding a person. It makes you very suspicious. So anyway, Kristine's family, they hired a private investigator, and the investigator stated that he believes Rudy was involved in her disappearance, Kristine's disappearance, and I do too. Now, Rudy has never been charged in connection with Kristine's case. He claims he's innocent. Authorities said that he was cooperative during his single interview with them, but also mentioned that he didn't have an alibi for the time that Kristine vanished. And they did note that Rudy was evasive at times during the questioning. But the issue, I assume, is that they're saying, authorities are saying that they have very little physical evidence to prove what happened to Kristine, and nothing links Rudy to her disappearance beyond motive. But they do believe that Kristine was a victim of homicide. So in 2010, police began digging up the basement floor of a shop owned by one of Rudy's relatives. Now, one section of the concrete was not like the others, and police brought in a cadaver-sniffing dog who indicated the presence of human remains, but nothing was found in the search. So there's an ongoing search for Kristine. If anybody has any kind of information regarding the case, I will leave the information to the police and who's involved and who's in charge of the case in the description box at the bottom of the video. It is my prayers that Kristine's family finds some kind of, her family and friends find resolution in her case, in this case, and that they are reunited with Kristine very soon. And thank you so much for watching.